Hey everybody, I am live looking at you. I'm at, obviously I'm at the airport, and I am waiting to get on a flight that will actually be 2 flights, and I'll be going to Chicago, right? So this trip was for Las Vegas Sevens Rugby and the CCIG Tiger Rugby team. And I thought, since I'm in Las Vegas, I might as well do what I would normally do, which is check on the Raiders site, which I did today, and interview a person I tried to get a hold of for some time, and that is Nevada Treasurer Dan Schwartz. So he was kind enough to meet with me and allow me to interview him live. And we had, I thought, a very epic discussion. Not all about the Raiders either, but about more his run for governor than anything else, right? And I was quite pleased with it. I really was. If I do say so myself. Now, as far as the Raiders and construction, there are 2 videos which I put up that consist of my, once again, circle tour, as I call it. This was the 3rd time. And what I saw this time was a deep trench that consists of blown out caliche. That's, what is it? They've blown it out. They've taken what they've exploded, and they put it into this giant mound at the north end of the property. Now, I have to correct myself on some news I put out there when I said that it looked like the same water that had appeared after the rains of January 8th was there. Well, not the same, because I asked a skycap on the way in, because I like to ask people about what's happening, right? And he told me that it rained, I think, a little over a week ago. It's interesting because when I checked the forecast, I was bird dogging it, the information. I found forecasts of rain, but I never found an actual report of rain. Well, he said, yeah, it rained. Okay. Hey, that's a big deal. So, as far as what I think, they still have a long way to go. The Stadium Authority approved the lion's share of the documents. The bond-related document has not been signed off on yet. Once again, because you have people who are involved with this who don't understand, and they're trying to be cheerleaders at the same time, which is, occasionally a bad mix. Like, I like Rich Vallota a lot, right? Great, nice guy, but he reports all the financing documents have been, signed, and they haven't been. Then in the article that he writes, he doesn't even mention the bond issue at all. Doesn't mention the bond documents at all. Nothing, okay? So, Menace Crawford 371 just typed, "This is still a bad deal." Well, of course it's a bad deal. I mean, look, nothing's going to change the fact that it's bad. It is. But aside from the deal structure itself, what I'm learning is that there's very little enthusiasm for it right now. I mean, it's not even, when I talk to people randomly on their level, and I think part of the reason is you have anyway, you have a very transient society here, okay? In other words, you got a lot of people who are, you have a lot of people who they're either new or they're just coming here. Some come here just to work. You have people who been here for a long time. Some people who were born here, and some people who are, I mean, all over the place, right? It's so different from the normal society that you're more likely to find somebody who, if they know about what's happening with the stadium, reactions either they're for it, they're either very for it, very against it, or in the middle. They don't care. I mean, quite literally, it's 33, 33, 33, okay? As opposed to what you really like, which is if you are the Raiders or the NFL, you want 100% support. That's not in this case. So there is a lot wrong, just intrinsically wrong with this project. So Crawford asks this question. He asks, is the enthusiasm in Las Vegas low for pro football or just that stadium project? I think it's really just that stadium project, and I believe it's because of the fact that, well, let's just take it one by one. First of all, it didn't come about as the result of a vote, right? It was thrust down the mouths collectively of Clark County residents because the then Republican-controlled Nevada legislature passed it, and at that, barely, right? That's the first thing. The second thing is the subsidy that's supposedly to come, which hasn't come yet, $750 million. All right. The third thing is, and it's a big X factor, is the number of other projects that have been announced that have more certainty than this one. For example, you've got, I mean, foremost among them, the MSG Sphere by Las Vegas Sands. And it was proposed quite literally on the heels of the Raider project. And it's far more exciting than the Raider project because it represents a cutting-edge development in arena design and development, okay? A cutting-edge development in arena design and function. And so, and Crawford, you're right. Steve Sisolakis isn't for a dogfight. Barry, I did see your message on Twitter, but since the subject's not dealing with that, I'm not going to turn in that direction. I'm going to stick to this right now. Okay? The reason is that I don't have a lot of time. It's 10:15, and now I'm waiting to get my seat assignment, and I'm going to have to close this up quickly because this flight boards at 10:40, and I've got to, well, get my seat. All right. I was going to start this live stream earlier, but, well, I didn't. So, hey, you know, things happen. I was going to get here earlier. But, oh, and then, and 32 Assassin, you made a comment about, to open things up about the A's. And, and Crawford said to start this that basically he was wrong about the, not Crawford, but 32 Assassin said that he was wrong about the Athletics and that they have put more money into the Coliseum than the Raiders. The Raiders haven't put any money in the Coliseum save for the PSL thing, and that really wasn't them at all. The Raiders put nothing into the Coliseum over time. And then they balked at the A's putting money into it to improve it. Get this, folks. The Raiders could have and still can go to the NFL and get money to make improvements to the Coliseum, the kind of improvements that the A's have made. And the Raiders have never lifted a hand to do that. Ever. So, Crawford says the Sphere project is getting more priority than the stadium. Yeah, it's getting more favorable treatment too, and that's got to be Adelson, excuse me. That's got to be Adelson. All right, it really is. But also, like, I point this out. You've got, on top of that, with the parking issue, you have Christian Giuliani submitting a letter to the stadium authorities saying, hey, look, you can't use Bali High Golf for land for parking. That takes 70 acres away from them like that. Okay? She's running for governor. You've got Dan Schwartz, who I interviewed. He's running for governor. They're not opposed entirely to the project, but they want the Raiders to pay a lot. And because there's a huge education underfundedness problem here, for want of a better term, okay? It's enormous. And there's a feeling that you have the casinos, as Dan put it, feeding at the trough, not paying their fair share of running the government here and making the lives of people better here. And they're tired of it. So, and then of course there's all the other issues, about, with Wynn and his the alleged behavior, and the idea that more of this may be coming down the pike, right? So the timing for this stadium just isn't right. It's not good. And so Pedro asked, why can't the Coliseum be like Lambeau Field? It's old, but renovation keeps it viable. Because Mark Davis said he didn't want that, and everyone was falling head over heels to give him what he wants. But could the Coliseum on its own be upgraded that way? Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Barry Lee asked who's building a Sphere project. MSG, Madison Square Garden, in conjunction with Las Vegas Sands. James Dolan and Sheldon Adelson are building it together. That's correct. That's correct. Oh, by the way, here's a little tidbit for you. All right. When I finish the live stream, YouTube gives me a readout of... Hold on a second. YouTube gives me a readout of the number of people that watched and the average time. So you multiply that number times the average time, you get the total views, right? Now, for Super Bowl 52, you had 202 million viewers every minute. Do you know what that totals over a 3-hour and 44-minute Super Bowl 52? It totals 452 million views. That's right. That is the most viewed event ever. Because it was, if you take streaming and you combine it, that's streaming alone. If you combine that with the viewership is 112.4 million at its peak in the fourth quarter, you're looking at well over 500 million views for the Super Bowl. That's larger than the population of the United States. That's over 500 million. That's incredible. So anyway, Crawford says, speaking of Dolan has a history with the NFL going back to the West Side Stadium project. Yeah, he does. And that's another long story. So anyway, let's see where we are here. It's 10:21. I'm also redlining on my battery power, my computer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this off, pick it up tomorrow night when I'm back in Atlanta, and for our common regularly scheduled live stream. And I hope you all enjoy the rugby videos. There are more to come. Had a great time with CCIG Tiger Rugby, and thank you. I will have a safe flight. Thank you very much. Thank you. And I gotta go and check on this flight. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you all. See you guys. Yeah, we'll resume the Dolan story tomorrow. I'll see you guys. Dilly dilly. Dilly dilly.